Man, sometimes a woman doesn't need to tell you directly that something has changed inside her. You may notice it in her behavior, in the way she approaches you, in her silence, or even in the small things she does in the bedroom. The bedroom, in particular, can reveal a lot about the nature of a relationship because it is a place where social formalities tend to disappear, making emotions more likely to show themselves as they truly are. But before you start becoming suspicious or making accusations, remember that a single sign does not mean cheating or the end of love. There could be psychological pressure, exhaustion, personal problems, or tension within the relationship behind it. What deserves your attention is a sudden and persistent change, especially when several signs appear together. 1. She starts avoiding physical closeness. If she used to seek your closeness, sit beside you, enjoy sleeping near you, or initiate simple touches, but suddenly begins avoiding these things without an obvious explanation, it is natural to notice the change. She may start sleeping farther away, become absorbed in her phone, or always find a reason not to get close to you. This does not necessarily mean there is someone else, but it may indicate that something has changed in her feelings or in how comfortable she feels within the relationship. 2. Her phone becomes more important than your presence. One of the things that may catch a man's attention is when the phone suddenly becomes a major part of bedtime. You enter the room and find her absorbed in her phone. She keeps scrolling for a long time, hides the screen when you come closer, or becomes more guarded about what she is doing on it. The phone itself is not proof of anything. But if this behavior is completely new and comes with increased secrecy and a noticeable change in the way she treats you, it is natural to wonder, what changed? 3. She stops talking to you before bed. Remember what your nights were like at the beginning of the relationship? Maybe you used to talk about your day, laugh about simple things, share your thoughts, or make plans for the following day. Then suddenly, silence becomes the norm. She lies beside you, but she seems emotionally far away. She doesn't ask questions, doesn't share much, and rarely initiates a conversation. The reason may not be another person, but it could indicate that the emotional communication between you has begun to weaken. 4. She becomes easily irritated with you in the bedroom. If the simplest thing you say suddenly annoys her, or she becomes irritated whenever you try to talk to her or get close, it is something worth paying attention to. Perhaps she repeatedly says things like, "I'm tired. Let me sleep. Not now." When this happens once or twice, it is completely normal. But when it becomes a consistent pattern, there may be negative emotions building up beneath the surface that have never been discussed. 5. Her initiative completely disappears. In a healthy relationship, one person shouldn't always be the one initiating everything. If you notice that she no longer initiates any form of closeness, affection, or attention and always waits for you to make the first move, there may be emotional distance or another issue affecting your relationship. What matters here is not the number of times it happens, but the change compared with how she used to be. 6. She is physically present, but emotionally absent. This is one of the strongest things a man may feel without being able to explain it. She is right there in front of you, but she isn't truly with you. She laughs less. She engages less. She doesn't look at you the same way. And she no longer seems to enjoy being together as much as she once did. Sometimes emotional withdrawal isn't obvious in words. It appears in the way someone is present or no longer truly present. 7. She starts making excuses to sleep alone. If she suddenly begins preferring to sleep alone on a regular basis or repeatedly gives reasons for wanting her own space, don't simply ignore the change. But don't immediately jump to the worst possible conclusion either. She may be under stress, having trouble sleeping, feeling exhausted, or simply wanting some personal space. The important question is this temporary or has it become a new and persistent pattern? 8. Her appearance changes suddenly. She may suddenly start paying much more attention to her appearance, perfume, clothes, hair, or other details she previously didn't care much about. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that by itself. But if the change is extremely sudden, becomes connected to certain occasions or specific times, and happens alongside other behavioral changes, it may naturally make you wonder what is behind it. Don't use her appearance as evidence against her. Look at the whole picture instead. 9. She becomes more private about her day. Perhaps she used to tell you everything. Who she met, what happened at work, who called her, and what had upset her. Then suddenly, her answers become short. Nothing. It was a normal day. I'm tired. There's nothing. When the level of sharing between two people who were once very close begins to decrease, it can be a sign of emotional distance. 10. You feel that something is different, but you can't prove it. Sometimes there isn't one specific sign you can point to. You simply feel that the woman in front of you is no longer the same. Her tone of voice is different. The way she sleeps is different. Her level of attention is different. The way she interacts with you is different. Even the silence between you feels different. And this is where you need to be especially careful, because a feeling alone is not enough to accuse someone. Your intuition may tell you that something has changed, but it cannot necessarily tell you why it changed. The problem could be within the relationship itself. It could be caused by external pressure. Or it could be something that has nothing to do with you at all. What matters is not watching her, but understanding what is happening. Man, don't turn the bedroom into an interrogation room. Don't search through her phone, monitor every move she makes, or interpret every word as evidence of cheating. Instead, ask yourself, has our relationship genuinely changed? When did this change begin? Did something happen between us before these behaviors started? Have I started feeling that she is emotionally distant from me? Then talk to her calmly. You can say, I feel like something has changed between us lately. I'm not trying to accuse you of anything, but I want to understand what's happening between us. That one sentence may reveal more to you than dozens of questions and accusations. Because a mature man doesn't only look for signs of infidelity. He first tries to understand why the relationship has changed.